Hi guys, welcome to Palace of the Core. My name's Stephen Dawes. Thank you for joining me. Right, Fulham versus Crystal Palace. So this was going to be a difficult game, I thought, because although we had a couple of days off in between this game and the last one, I thought it would be a tough game because Fulham are doing well. They've been playing quite well and beating some good teams lately. So I thought that this would be a tough game. But it was made all the worse, of course, for us, because obviously we still have Ismaila Sarr out. We also had Daniel Munoz was out because of recurrence of a knee issue, which Oliver Glasner said they've been nursing for a little while, but apparently his knee is now swelled up a little bit. So he didn't play, and they're not sure when he's going to be back. Hopefully soon, but they're not entirely sure about that. So we were a couple of people light, and in place of Daniel Munoz, Oliver Glasner put Nathaniel Klein, which I was a little bit surprised about at first. I mean, although he can play that role in terms of the defensive role, he's not so much used to going forward and doing things like that. So I was a little bit surprised, but then again, who can you put in their place? I know that Canvo is a good player in that area as well, but it just surprised me a little bit that they put Klein in there. Anyway, so the game was actually one of those which we didn't really play that well again. We played okay in parts of the game. You could see that we were kind of back to how we used to play, kind of pass the ball around and create chances. But other times we looked a little bit shaky at the back, a little bit kind of unsettled at the back. And we also kind of made a few wrong passes again, and we're just passing to the wrong areas and stuff like that, and it just seemed as though we were a little bit disjointed. Now, of course, you can say it's all about the fatigue of playing so many games, and that is, of course, got to be a factor. But it just seems as though we're a little bit disjointed, and of course, Mateta up front was also, I wouldn't say he was ineffective, but he had another game where he was trying to do things but not quite getting there, if you know what I mean. Also had Eddie Nketiah on, which I thought was actually quite a good idea, in fact, and he was the one who got us our first goal. It was a nice little pass around the box, and then Adam Wharton put a lovely little slide rule pass into the box, and Eddie Nketiah struck it home. So that was great for a 1-0. It was then, unfortunately, a bit later on, that Fulham equalised, and it was a good goal. I mean, it was a good goal. It was a good strike. It was probably one of those goals where you just have to hold your hand up and say, yeah, it was a good goal. Maybe could have marked him a little bit better, but it was a good strike at the end of the day. There was, of course, then later on in the game, a second goal that Fulham scored, but thankfully that was ruled offside, and it was literally just a toe offside if you look at the VAR picture. And I think we got away with that a little bit, to be fair, because I think that we were doing okay, but I don't think we weren't necessarily playing our best at all, to be fair. Adam Wharton had a better game, still a couple of passes going awry, but he had a better game. I think everyone played okay. Yeremy Pino, again, did a couple of really nice passes, but a lot of the time it was just getting pushed off the ball or harried off the ball, or was trying to do too much and getting the ball stolen off him. So it wasn't one of his best performances, I don't think, against Fulham. I think that Nathaniel Klein actually had a really good game. I was really impressed with what he was doing. I thought that he played incredibly well. And he didn't play the whole game, he was substituted, but I think that he put in a really good shift. And Oliver Glasner mentioned him in particular when he was talking about the praise of the team, because he said, he hasn't played many minutes for us, but he's there at every training, he works really hard, and when I asked him if he could step in, he did, and he did a fantastic job. And I agree, I think he did really well, considering that that's not necessarily the type of role that he typically does, or typically did. And of course he's 34 years old as well, so to do all that at 34, having not played many games, I thought was really good for him. So there were some positive things going on in there, but I just felt that it was a good result in a not necessarily a good game. And I think that when you're looking at good teams, when you're looking at teams that are trying to do things, trying to challenge things, trying to win things, very often they will have a situation where they won't play very well, but they'll win the game. And I think this is one of those for us. You know, we didn't play particularly well, but we won the game. And I think that, you know, as a big club, or a club that wants to move forward, very often they are the things that make the difference. So I was really pleased that we got the 3 points. We ended up 4th in the end at the end of the night, which was fantastic for us. I was absolutely delighted to see that. Obviously, we've got a long way to go. The end of the season is a long way away, and we've got many games to play until the end of the season. But I was really pleased that we got the 3 points. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. What do you think about the game? Did you think that we were lucky to get the draw? Lucky to get the win even? Or do you think that actually a fairer result might have been to get a draw? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Please do subscribe if you got this far, and I'll see you next time.